in this video from We Are Racing.
Right, and what we're going to do now is follow one of these tires on its journey back to the car. You guys might recognize this place from the side of my 370Z. Expert Wheel and Tyre, our good friends. Let's see if they can sort us out on the Corolla today. Very conveniently located just off Rivonia Road. And there's all the info. I'll also link it down in the description. It's always a good idea to bring your car to some experts to have things checked out, especially on the wheel balancing and alignment side. So what the guys are going to do just now is remove all 4 of the tires and replace them for new tires on account of these being expired. And while we're busy, they're going to check out all the suspension parts and figure out why the back wheel is running off a little bit weird.
While we are in here, we might as well just inspect the brake pads. Geez, I hope you guys can actually see this. So on closer inspection, we see that these brake pads probably have a couple of thousand Ks left on them. So one of the next videos we'll make will be to change the brake pads. Let's go check the back ones also. Right, and on the back brakes over here, it's got about 30% life on it, which, I mean, the way my mom drives and being back brakes, they will last quite a bit. It's also important to just feel the disc, and it's got some ridges and stuff on here, but nothing excessive. There's no massive lips or anything like that. Keeping in mind that you could probably skim a disc like this once or twice in its life, but the people who do that sort of thing will also measure for safety. You need to check all 4 wheels independently because brakes can wear at different rates for different reasons. So for instance, if there's a problem on a specific brake caliper, it might be binding, and those discs or those pads could be wearing a lot quicker than the other side. So you need to check all 4 independently. And this one, it's so difficult to see, but also about 30% life, so nice even wear, and the disc feels much the same as the other side, which is sort of okay. And let's go check the last one. And it's a similar situation, probably about 30% of life left over there, and the disc is in a decent condition for what we're busy with. So yeah, we'll do a separate video on changing disc pads and see if we can maybe get some new discs or have these skimmed on the car, so we can show you that process.
Meanwhile,
okay, so stripping a tire is quite a violent affair, as you'll see, because they on the rim very tightly, and you'll see that when we refitted this now. So first step is pull out the valve and let the air out the tire. Second step is to break the wheel loose from the rim, as we're doing there now. And the stuff is obviously all hydraulic and whatnot. And then the next step is to get the tire off the rim, and it takes a specialty machine like this to get a tire off a rim. Clamps the mag onto the machine, get the tire iron in there, pops the wheel over the rim, and just like that. Repeat 4 times. Right, and what we're going to do now is follow one of these tires on its journey back to the car. So, brand spanking new tire, rim on machine. If we can get some light in there, there we go. What is that, soapy water?
yeah.
So some soapy water on the inside of the rim, just to make off the wheel, so to make sure that it gets onto the rim. Right, so what he was looking for is the date on the tire, like we showed you previously, and that must be on the outside of the rim. And then the second thing is there are 2 marks on the actual tire, which is like the type of a balancing mark or something. That needs to go where the valve is, but that only happens once the tire is onto the rim, because obviously this goes on very tight.
It's in between. So that
Right, see, and now the valve is in between those 2 marks,
so they can
and that's what they for.
Yeah.
Right, next step is going to be to inflate this tyre to make it seat properly onto the actual rim.
Just then.
And this normally comes with a loud bang. Wait for it. Almost. And there we go. Next step for this guy, high speed wheel balancing. First he removes all the old weights that used to be on the wheel. Obviously we want to start from a clean slate. Then the wheel gets spun at high speed, driving speed. And then the machine tells us exactly where and what weights need to be added. So we need to add 20 grams on the inside and 15 grams on the outside. Just goes to show how strong centrifugal forces are, that a 15 gram weight can make this amount of difference. And the machine actually shows a little laser dot. You can see it there, exactly where the weight needs to be stuck on. Once the weights have been placed, spin the wheel again, and what we're looking for is all zeros to show that it's perfectly balanced.
Later.
And just like that, with 4 new tires on the car, we are ready to go to the wheel alignment machine.
Have you ever noticed how the good tire shops always clean your wheels after they've worked on them? Wheel alignment these days is a computer controlled process where the wheels and track of the car is set up according to factory specifications. And typically you've got a computer like this where it lists all the different models and whatnot, and the idea here is to set the car up for drivability and as well as tire life. It's not set up for racing, for track, for drifting or anything like that. That's a completely different application. This is so that we can safely drive the car on the road and get the maximum life out of our tires. Okay, so Tebogo is putting these reflectors on the wheel, which eventually gets leveled and centered and all kinds of things, and it aims at the laser thingy up there, which measures distance and angle and all kinds of things in relation to the front wheels and the car and everything around it. And that's how we know when the wheel alignment is set up properly. Okay, and now he finds our specific car, which is a Toyota Corolla.
What's the year model of this car?
2006.
2006.
Lots of different Toyotas all over the world, and obviously every single one is listed over here with different tire sizes and stuff, and those are the measurements that we're looking for. Now the laser tracking stuff goes in line until it's happy, and then it starts measuring. Right, so this is our starting measurement. Let's just see if we can get a bit more light in there. And you can see there's room for improvement. Now this looks really bad, but once you adjust them, you'll see it's at 1 degree and a 2 degree and a half a degree changes that need to be made. But Tebogo is going to get stuck into this quickly, and he's going to do the necessary for us. And like a wally, I wasn't paying attention when the Toyota was done. So this is another car that we put on here. But this is typically the result that you're looking for. Everything in the green and everything as prescribed by the factory. Nice, neat, clean. This car will drive straight, handle well, and will get good life out of the tires, provided that we do this every 10,000 kilometers. So make a note of the current kilometers at which you've done this job, and make sure that you know exactly when you're going to hit another 10,000 kilometers and redo this whole process again. As you guys know, we live in crazy times during the coronavirus pandemic nonsense stuff, and here at Expert Wheel and Tyre, after they've touched and worked on your car, they sanitize it by wiping all the surfaces with sanitizer, 70% alcohol and all the good stuff that you're sort of looking for, to ensure that they give you a safe service experience. Well done. Happy days. Our wheel alignment and balancing is done. We're getting ready to head back home. If you have any comments or suggestions or questions on what we've done here, please post them down below, and we'll be sure to get the correct answers and post them back to you. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.